Hey Skylar, what are you working on?
This image shows my mind map with different sections labeled week by week, each explaining a topic that we covered in our biology class. In the center is my big question about how changing someone's genes can affect their life. Each box around it touches on things like traits, evolution, and the microbiome. We'll break it all down shortly.
Just my mind map for my biology final project.
Oh, it looks really good. What's your middle statement?
Oh, so my middle statement is I wonder if changing someone's genes completely alter how they exist in their environment. So that's the middle statement, and then like all of these things that like they branch out to, I use all my 5 weeks of biology class.
That's a really complicated question. Where did you start?
So I started with week 1, which was transcription and translation. Basically, if you change the DNA, you change proteins, which changes your traits. And then since proteins control things like your appearance and strength, or even just how your body functions, that one genetic change can have a major ripple effect in your body.
This sketch shows the process of transcription and translation. DNA is transcribed into mRNA, which is then translated into proteins. These proteins determine traits like appearance, strength, or how your body works. A small change in DNA creates a ripple effect that spreads through all of these stages, impacting the entire body.
Exactly.
Right, because proteins do everything. So if you rewrite DNA, it's like rewriting how the body works.
Exactly. Transcription and translation are how genes turn into functions. So changing a gene isn't just cosmetic, it can actually change how your body processes energy, heals, and even how you respond to certain medicines.
That's kind of wild. So how does that connect to the environment part of your question?
So that's where week 2 ecology comes in. Traits affect an organism's ecological role. So if a gene change gives you a thicker fur, that could help you survive in a colder climate. Or if your metabolism changes, maybe you eat different foods and your body uses energy differently.
This sketch shows how traits can affect an organism's role in its environment. A wolf with thick fur is shown in what I tried to create was a snowy setting, representing how a genetic change can help survival in the cold. A stomach and food item suggests metabolism changes that affect diet and energy use. And the arrow and ripple lines show how these traits lead to bigger ecological effects.
So a genetic change can shift your niche in an environment?
Yes, and ecology shows us that those traits are tied to survival. A change in body traits can absolutely change how you fit in your environment.
That makes sense. What's next?
Yeah, so week 3 was the human microbiome. So microbes in your body influence digestion, immunity, mood, and so much more. So your microbiome is actually it interacts with your genes and your environment. For example, someone with microbes that help them digest fiber might get more nutrients out of the same foods which you eat, which could be an evolutionary advantage.
This sketch shows a human figure with microbes drawn inside the torso and stomach area, representing the microbiome. Arrows point from the microbes to digestion, mood, and other body function. This shows how microbiome affects many parts of your health. It also connects to how microbes interact with your genes and environment to give certain advantages.
Oh, I didn't realize that the microbiome was so important. So it's not just about your own genes, but it's also about the genes of the microbes living inside you.
Exactly, and since your genes can influence which microbes thrive in your body, it's all connected. Your body's like its own little mini ecosystem.
That is so mind-blowing. What about week 4?
I love your excitement. Week 4 was all about natural selection, and that is how certain traits help people survive and how those traits become more common. Genetics aren't static, they evolve. Evolution happens because genes, proteins, and environmental pressures constantly interact with one another. So if a genetic change helps you thrive in a certain environment, it's more likely to be passed on.
This drawing shows what I believe early humans and our early ancestors looked like, slowly changing into modern humans. A DNA strand and nature in the background show how genes and the environment work together. The arrow labeled evolution shows how helpful traits get passed on over time. It connects how genetic changes can help people survive and thrive.
So your big question ties right into that. Changing genes could definitely change how you survive and would even affect your future generations.
Yes, it's not about one person changing. It could ripple out into populations over generations.
Oh, I got it. So, like, finally, how does week 5 tie all into that?
Genetics was week 5, and it's really the base of everything. Genetics determine traits like metabolism, height, eye color, muscle mass, even how you respond to disease. Mutations, even tiny ones, can change a trait in so many helpful and or harmful ways. And if they're helpful, they can get passed down to different generations.
This drawing shows how genetics is the base of traits. A DNA strand points to traits like your face, eyes, stomach, and hands. The word mutation shows that changes in DNA can affect how these traits work. Some mutations can help and can be passed down, or some mutations can be negative and affect your health.
So, altering genes doesn't just affect how someone exists in their environment, but if they can thrive or survive at all.
Exactly. Genetics is like the blueprint, and everything else, ecology, microbiome, evolution, is what happens when the blueprint meets the real world.
Honestly, this all connects so well. Your question really makes you think about how powerful and far-reaching one gene can be.
Thanks. That was my goal, to show that biology isn't just one system. It's all of these systems working together to shape life.
Well, you nailed it. I totally learned a lot. You should definitely get a 100.